Today I am narrating a video for you, a video that I didn't think I would make for a really long time, possibly never. So in this video, we had just gotten back from Texas. We were at Peepaw's wedding and a mini vacation. And one of my sisters started talking about how their period's been really weird lately. They need to schedule an appointment. And I haven't had mine regularly because I'm still breastfeeding Rev. I've probably had it 2 or 3 times, but never consistently. Every other to every 2 months I've been having it. And it got me thinking that I haven't had it for a really long time. But there's not many opportunities that could lead to pregnancy. So it's a very slim chance. But I am about to run to Walmart to pick up a test really quickly just to take it because I thought, why not? There's no way it could be positive. I acquire the test and I bring it home, but everybody's around, so I have to wait until after my shower. It literally showed up before the control line. Holy shit. As I'm taking the test, as you just saw, as the stick soaked up the liquid, it crossed over through the pregnancy window and was immediately pregnant and so dark before the liquid even got to the window for the control line. So I was in shock in the bathroom because that meant one of two things. I was possibly pregnant with twins and had an abnormal amount of hormone in my urine, or I was really pregnant and didn't know about it for a long time. I was in shock. I started panicking. It was late at night, so I knew that I needed to just make an appointment as soon as I could the next day and figure out what was going on. It was crazy. So I knew that I needed to tell Taylor what was going on, but it was really late at night. He was sleeping. I was the only one awake. So I set the test on the side of the bathroom sink because he doesn't usually go in there. We have our own bathrooms, and I knew the kids wouldn't know what it meant or even to look at it. The next morning, I'm getting all the kids ready for school. Taylor had off, and as I'm putting the kids' backpacks on, I see Taylor run around the corner of the basement wall, and he's holding something in the air, and he's like, "Is this new or old?" And I look up. I'm like, "Is what new or old?" I look up again, and he's holding the pregnancy test. And I was like, because I didn't want anything to draw attention for the kids to notice and know what was going on. And he yells again, "Is this new or old?
Is this a new or an old one?"
And I was like, "Can we please talk about this later?" And he put it down and he put his hand on his head, and he was just, I just heard him say, "Oh my gosh," as he walked into the kitchen. So where did we leave off? I got interrupted by the kids. So I call and I make an appointment in the morning, and my doctor doesn't have any appointments for 2 weeks, I believe it was. It was just about 2 weeks, and they didn't have any appointments until then. So I waited the 2 weeks for the appointment, and I wasn't having any pregnancy symptoms still. So I'm thinking I can't be that far along if I'm still not experiencing anything. And on top of that, am I even if I'm not experiencing anything? Maybe I got a false positive pregnancy test. So I go into my appointment, and as I'm sitting waiting, I took Rev with me. My doctor comes in. I'm just freaking out because how far along am I? You know, what am I going to find out? Maybe I'm not even, but now I'm kind of excited, even though I'm super scared. My doctor comes in and she tells me that the small machine they have to check ultrasounds doesn't have any it doesn't have any image printing features, so they're just going to look to get size and estimate due date, and that's all that they're going to do with the ultrasound. I lay back. She gets everything up on the ultrasound and she's quiet, and I looked over and I can't see the screen. I looked over at her and I said, "Is there a baby in there?" And she said, "Oh yeah, you're definitely pregnant." I got interrupted again. We breed dogs. This is one of the puppies. The girls need me to watch him for a second. So she's looking at the screen and she says, "Yep, you're definitely pregnant." And I said, "Okay, the pregnancy line was really dark and took all the ink from the control line. So I have to ask, is there only one baby?" And she paused and then she said, "Yep, it's just one." And I said, "Okay." Interrupted again, but I'm gonna finish. Let me finish. So she says, "Yes, it's just one." And I'm like, okay, that's a relief. And then I said, she turns the screen towards me and she says, "You're definitely pregnant. That's a big old baby." And I look at the screen and it's an actual baby, like a whole baby. And I said, "How many weeks pregnant am I?" She gets out her due date calculating wheel and she says, "Based off the size of the baby, you are 12 weeks pregnant. 12 weeks with no symptoms. And wait, they have to see mommy too." I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. When I first got the positive test and Taylor knew, and my doctor's office told me that I had to wait 2 weeks to come in, I immediately ordered a sneak peek gender test. And that came in about 4 days because I knew I had to be at least 4 to 5 weeks if I found out, and I knew I was probably farther than that because of how the test came out, or because of how dark the line came out on the test. So I ordered that. It came. I took it. We sent it back. And about 3 days later, I got the results. So I didn't even confirm pregnancy with an ultrasound, and I already had gender results, which was crazy. But then when I got the ultrasounds, I didn't even see the baby. She only showed it to me for 0.5 of a second. So it really just didn't feel real. And I also wanted to confirm the results from the gender sneak peek before we told the kids about the baby. So I scheduled myself a gender ultrasound, and that's what you'll see in these next clips is me on the way to the gender ultrasound.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at